What will be your outstanding memory from your final game at the Emirates?
The goodbye, but first of all the game, the quality of our game. I think it typified a little bit our home season. That was outstanding, and the number of goals we scored, because we didn't score too many goals away, but overall we scored 72 goals, and we have still 2 games to go. So going forward we played well, and the fact it went all well, from the sunshine to the final moment I left the pitch, all went very well, and it was a good opportunity to say goodbye to everybody.
Straight back to action tomorrow night as well, away at Leicester. What is your latest team news?
Well, we have basically 4 players who are out. If you count Cazorla, Koscielny, Özil, and El Neni. Everybody else we check today, because we had an off day yesterday, and we'll check everybody today. Do I leave 1 or 2 out? It's possible for tomorrow, because we play again on Sunday, and some of them played on Thursday in Madrid and Sunday, so I will check medically today.
How is Laurent Koscielny? Because there was suspicion that he might have to have surgery.
Koscielny is, of course, devastated because he has surgery, and that means he will be out for 6 months. You will not see him before certainly end of December now, or beginning of December at the best. In certainly his final year, where he would play for the national team, but you never know. And this is now the World Cup as well.
Finally, on Santi Cazorla, is he likely to feature at all before the end of the season?
No, he will not be ready to play in the final game.
Arsene, what have you said to Laurent Koscielny? You say he's devastated. How have you gone about trying to pick him up?
Well, we always try to be positive, but overall you can only say try to support people when they suffer, because they suffer, of course, from a situation like that. And what is unusual in his case, he had a tendinopathy for a long, long time, and usually they don't go to rupture, these cases. So that is a bit surprising in his case, where people have always inflamed tendon, they don't rupture, but in his case it went, so I don't know why.
You face Claude Puel tomorrow at Leicester. Have you been surprised to hear speculation about his role in the last week, and how frustrating is that for a manager to have their position under constant scrutiny?
Yes, but I don't know if that's the truth or not. I think he's done a good job there, and hopefully he can keep it.
A question about Jack Wilshere. What's the latest on his contract talks?
Look, the latest conversation I had with Jack, it looks positive for the club. I am not involved anymore now in negotiations, but of course still in touch with Jack about it, and if he wants my advice, I give it to him. But I'm convinced, like I was always, that his future is here.
So you are convinced that he will be an Arsenal player next season?
Yes, it was always my wish, and I think it will happen, yes.
You mentioned Mesut Ozil is out of the game tomorrow night. Is he likely to play any part this season? Huddersfield perhaps on Sunday?
Maybe. He was in yesterday for treatment, and he still has a back problem. That is even at half time at Madrid he had that problem, and it looks for me unlikely now that we play before the end of the season, because he doesn't practice.
There are some reports this week about him picking and choosing his games and annoying his teammates. What would you say to that?
Yeah, no, football players are not like that, But I can understand that, because you have always very positive spirits who see everything negative. But overall, no, I think he's injured, and it looks like that sometimes when a player can go over the pain for one game and after is a recurrence of inflammation. That's what happened to him. You think he wanted to play on Sunday. It was a game that was enjoyable to play, but at the moment he's injured.
Has Ivan Gazidis or any member of the Arsenal board told you who your replacement will be yet?
No.
Would you approve of Enrique or Allegri, the two names being talked about this week?
Look, all these guys are very competent and all good names, you know, and choices. Anyway, I will be like every Arsenal fan. I will wait until they've made a decision and after support the guy to do well.
As an Arsenal fan, do you have an opinion on whether the job and the structure here is catered for a more experienced coach or somebody who falls into the promising young coach category?
Look, I said I don't want to come out publicly on that, because if I say I go for this one or this one, we'll put the guy who, if he's not the guy they choose, under pressure straight away. So it's better I stay neutral. If the club wants my advice, I will give it to them, but it's better I don't talk publicly about it.
Have you had any offers yet?
Yes.
How many?
Quite more than I expected.
How are you dealing with those offers?
At the moment I focus on doing well my job. I didn't even analyze anything or consider anything, you know. I want to work well until the last day of my contract, and then after I will think about it, rest a little bit and think about where I go from there. What is for sure, I will be active. My brain demands work and is active, and I have a huge experience of management and subtlety in people management, and so overall I will work. What will I do? I don't know yet.
Are any of those offers from English clubs?
I don't want to go any further on that into any detail at the moment.
Final question. Pat Rice said recently that you're so well thought of at FIFA and UEFA that he wouldn't be surprised if they offered you a job. Will it definitely be management, or could you see yourself in a role like
Honestly,
that?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have to think about that. I like green grass, and I like to walk on it every morning. So until now, so I don't know will I continue, but it's possible.
Thanks, Austin.
Looking at the game tomorrow, it won't have gone. You'll know that obviously in 2018 you haven't got a point yet away from home. So
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it's true. I want to win the last two away games, but I must say it was a bit special circumstances with the fact that we played the League Cup final, we played the Europa League quarter-final, semi-final, and away from home I rotated the teams to prepare for these cup games, you know. But overall, I would say I want to finish with 2 wins, and that's why I will go tomorrow to Leicester to give absolutely everything to win the game.
You said that Santi Cazorla won't figure in the last 2 games. I thought that you gave a good sort of little cameo to Per Mertesacker on Sunday. How much a shame you can't give Santi Cazorla the same kind of little...
It's a shame, because I brought him here, and I love the player and the person as well, of course. But I asked, he looks quite good, he prepares well. He runs well, he's physically working very hard, but medically people tell me it's too much a risk to rush him back now, you know. He had to wait for such a long time. It would be stupid in one game to destroy all the work he has done.
Your legacy is obviously all the trophies that you've won in the 22 years here, but it will continue after you go, because your youth team won the league at West Ham a couple of weeks ago, and they're in a cup final tonight, so there are still young players that you've helped bring through.
Yeah, that's part of our qualities and of our values, and that will continue. Arsenal is a very popular club, very respected all over the world, and part of that respect is down as well to the fact that the youth gets a chance.
And finally from me, I know you spoke to my colleague about your future, but do you ever Could you ever see a
I don't want to work in the media.
You don't want to work in the media? You sat next to me at Chelsea. You don't want to work in the media? Do you ever see yourself one day managing again an English team? Not maybe next, but maybe somewhere down the road.
At the moment, that is difficult for me. You know, I don't envisage that at the moment, and I would like as well to finish one of my last press conferences to thank David Dean, who brought me here. You know, and he had a special vision for the future, for the Premier League, and as well he gave me a foreign manager chance when nobody knew me here, and I would like to thank him. And he was always a consistent support for my 22 years, so I think he deserves from myself a special thank, because he's a special man.
Arsene, we're hearing that the club may make an announcement about your replacement before the World Cup, and timing, you know, going into a brand new season is really important. So would you agree with that timing?
Yeah, of course. I think the earlier the better now. People want hope, and they need as well to prepare the next season. I must say the squad doesn't need much, because there is a huge potential in there. There's a good spirit, good basis. We need 2-3 additions, and this team will compete for the championship next year.
When you say it doesn't need much, you don't see there being massive spending, or certainly not needed?
No, I don't think so. Well, you know, it's as well difficult nowadays, because when you see that the defenders go for 70 million, it's difficult what is much and what is not much. Nobody knows anymore.
In terms of what players have been saying, Jack Wilshere spoke after the game on Sunday, and he's not the only one. So many people have described you as like a father figure, which of course takes that boundary of football to the next level. And do you think some of these players might feel the after effects of when you've gone?
No, I believe that these players, you are here to guide the players to get to their best, and some of the players, like Jack Wilshere, know him since he's basically 15 years old, you know. So of course that builds a special relation, because you see them as going from kids to men, and you help them as well to go through some very difficult situations. Like Jack Wilshere has gone through being a superstar to suddenly be out for a year, you know, at that age it's absolutely difficult, so they need as well some help from them.
In terms of Leicester, they've obviously gone a little off the boil, hence the criticism over Puel recently. Do you think that's understandable for them at this point in the season? They're 9th in the table.
Look, I don't know what's happening inside the clubs. I just think that Puel is a competent manager who has. I had him as a player, and he's a bit similar to what I do. That means he's a fighter, and he's ready to fight against, to swim against the stream, and that tenacity, I think, will get him through that difficult period.
Arsène, en français, de tous les grands moments que vous avez vécus ces 22 ans ici à Arsenal, lesquels allez-vous chérir le plus?
Oh, ça c'est vraiment difficile pour moi de choisir. Je pense que les grands moments, c'est quand vous arrivez, que vous gagnez vos premiers trophées, que vous pouvez. À l'époque, quand je suis arrivé, c'était dans le scepticisme général, donc peut-être les premiers trophées que j'ai gagnés, et aussi le fait d'avoir pu m'identifier au club, d'avoir pu imprimer ma patte ici en ayant développé le club dans ses structures. Je pense qu'un entraîneur, il a une influence à la façon aussi dont il fait grandir le club. Et je me suis toujours évertué à ça, et je pense que le club a gagné en dimension internationale et mondiale au niveau de la qualité de sa réputation, au niveau de ses valeurs aussi. Et c'est peut-être ce qui restera le plus.
Et juste vite fait, des regrets, et qu'on ait un à avoir.
Les regrets, c'est tous les matchs que j'ai perdus et que je devais gagner, parce que toutes les défaites sont des souffrances et qui restent à vie avec vous. Vous trouvez normal de gagner, mais vous souffrez toujours terriblement quand vous perdez. Donc toutes les grandes défaites sont des grosses cicatrices à jamais.
Arsene, just on Laurent Koscielny, he's been managing an Achilles problem for a while, isn't he? I mean, are you confident that he can make a full recovery after this operation?
Yes, the recovery will be full because the advantage of a surgery is as well that it heals the inflammation, what people don't do usually, you know, because the fact that you move always. Sometimes people have had surgery when they didn't need it and they think, oh, it has healed. But just basically it has healed because you didn't move, and it healed the cause of the inflammation. So that, on that front is no problem, you will cure.
And just finally, just one on Mesut. The contract to keep him here was a huge investment by the club. I mean, how significant do you think that deal will be in the years to come to actually keep him here?
Yes, the club made a big investment, basically because the player was free as well, you know, and you have to buy a player. When you look at the amount of transfers for this kind of players, they are huge. I think it is a good investment, and the player will top quality. He has gone through a difficult patch at the moment because he's always in and out, but once he will be back on a consistent way, he will have a huge influence.
I think he's aware of the talk around him, or does he not?
He is aware because he's on social networks like many people, and so of course he's aware of that, but you cannot always master what people say. You just can master your own attitude.
Thank you.
Thank you, folks. Take the microphones out, please.